I think the job of being a teacher is so rewarding in so many ways.
The connection between you and the whole class, that's still unbeatable.
When my pupils are successful, it feels incredible.
I think the greatest thing for me is seeing the pupils that I teach love the subject as much as I do.
I don't think there's any other job where you get the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search Apply to Teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005, you are listening to Gamer Tag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Parris, Paustin. Come on. Yeah.
Welcome to Gamer Tag Radio episode 475. This is your host Godfrey, and of course we have our weekly co-host. Let's start off with Parris. What's up, Parris?
Not much. Just another week of gaming.
Welcome back, sir. You were off last week.
Really, I wasn't though.
You had a little, coverage there of Call of Duty Championship, and then at the end, randomly you showed up, but the majority of the show you were off.
I like how you call it randomly when you specifically hit me up online. It was like, hey, we need to talk about the Zelda stuff. Are you around? I'm like, yeah, I'm around, and then we recorded it.
Hey, but it was good. It was worth it. A lot of people said it was pretty good.
We got feedback on it, so yes, it was good.
Yeah, good. Also, we have Paustin J. Paustin, what's up?
What's up, guys? I'm doing pretty good. Also, like Parris, is enjoying a nice day of gaming and a kickoff to a weekend of gaming, so pretty average.
What you been playing lately?
A lot of Battlefield multiplayer,
okay,
which we'll get to later in the show, along with a single player from Pete. Also, more Bloodborne, which I'll go ahead and say this now. I cannot review it this week because I'm terrible at the game and actually suck more than I thought I did. So I'm stuck on the second boss. I still really like the game, and I do feel like I'm getting better, but clearly I'm just not good enough yet to get far enough where I feel like I'm comfortable judging the game. But in my opinion, if you have a PlayStation 4 already, you should check out Bloodborne. If you haven't played Dark Souls or Demon Souls, or more importantly, if you didn't like those games, you should check out Bloodborne even more, because I definitely fall into that camp. But again, we'll talk more next week, but still playing it, still working on it.
And also, let's have our last co-host here.
Bringing up the rear.
Pete Rock in the house. Pete, what's up?
What's up, everybody?
Isn't it the best for last?
I guess.
Yeah.
Apparently not, seeing that he complains about being last every week, so he must not think that.
Hey, if my name was Parris Lilly, yes, I would be complaining because you're always last. Anyways.
Okay.
So why are you going to bring the show down, Parris?
Why you got to use my government name on the podcast? Why you gotta do that?
Danny does it. You don't give him any Danny beef.
Wait, Parris, when you go to the balcony on iTunes, it says hosted by Parris Lilly.
Because that's my name.
What's the difference?
Well, but you don't have to say it so much on the podcast. My name is Parris, not Parris Lilly. Look, let me put it this way.
What was it one more time?
Have my name during the 80s and being a kid and see how you like it. You begin to fight every day like I did, all right?
Hey, look, I used to fight a lot too when I was young. So, not because of my name, though. So, it's all good. All right, guys, head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes and also post your feedback. Or head over to play.it and share our content to your friends on social media. You know, you could use Facebook and stuff. And subscribe on iTunes, tune in radio. Make sure to spread the word about GTR. Give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. Now, I wonder who is going to be the host for next week, because I'm out next week. I'm not going to be here. So who is going to be the main host? Let's talk about this now before we start talking about the...
Parris Lilly.
Parris is going to be the host?
Oh,
yes.
I guess that settles it. All PC talk next week. Get ready.
Yes, all PC and Destiny.
Make sure that you know your the voicemail and the email and everything, man. Because I know it could get a little stressed out, man, to host the show, man.
I never know it, and I won't know it next week. So go ahead and be prepared.
Well, you will have to learn it.
Well,
you have to learn it.
I won't.
No, yes, you will.
No, I won't. I specifically won't now.
Now we just give out Danny's cell phone number.
Yeah.
Call him nonstop.
Oh, thanks. So, breaking news. What happened with OnLive? OnLive got shut down. First of all, it got purchased by Sony, and they just shut it down. What happened?
Because they took the patents.
They took what?
They got patents. They bought it to get 140 patents from OnLive. I mean, obviously to use with their online streaming service. And they just shut down OnLive. They have no need for it.
Well, for those that never heard of OnLive, this is basically the pioneer of a streaming service, right?
Yes.
Of gaming streaming service. Okay. It was a flop. It wasn't big at all. Like, people really didn't. I mean, there was a hype back then. I remember years ago when I think there was a press conference during the GDC. I can't remember the year, but
same year as Ouya.
It was not. Was it the same year as Ouya?
I think so.
No, it was. I don't think so.
2011, I believe. I just remember being at PAX 2011. They had a huge presence there as far as OnLive. I think that was when they were going as mainstream as they got.
That was the year before Ouya, because Ouya came out in 2012.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say about OnLive. Yeah, I mean, obviously it never truly caught on. I mean, I think their eyes were bigger than their stomach. But I played Batman Arkham City from start to finish on OnLive, and it was fine.
Smooth, no lag or anything?
A little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing that was just completely distracting from the experience. I think single-player games on OnLive were completely fine. Try to play a multiplayer game, that's crazy. But, yeah, I mean, I think if they could have gotten their pricing right and just had a solid business plan, because that was the issue. I don't know if you've seen some of the behind-the-scenes stuff with the original ownership of OnLive, but it was a hot mess. That's what killed them more than anything. But the technology itself worked, and obviously still works to this day, because that's why Sony wanted to grab those patents.
Question for the listeners out there: who been trying the streaming service from PlayStation? Like, I would like to know how's that going. I know they made some changes with the prices and everything, and send us feedback about that, because I'm very curious to see if it's worth it or not, or you could play monthly. So you could play a couple of unlimited games there, right?
My biggest thing with PlayStation Now, I mean, obviously the pricing is just all over the place, but my main thing is they need to open up the back catalog. I don't necessarily care to play PlayStation 3 games on there, but if you give me some original PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 titles, I'd be more inclined to want to check it out. I
think they are going to announce it during the part of the E3.
They better do something.
Nah, they will. They will. Come on. It will be stupid if they don't announce that during E3. It will be a waste of time, seriously. Because, I mean, they spent a lot of money buying that streaming service for PlayStation Now. So,
Danny, this is the same company that told you back in 2005 that you needed to get a second job to get a PlayStation 3 because it was going to be $600.
But that's in the past, man.
I'm just saying. I'm not putting nothing past anybody, man. You never know.
All right. Well, another game delayed. I think every week we have a new game delayed for 2016. This one I'm not surprised, because I've been saying this for months. Even last year I mentioned it, that Quantum Break was going to be delayed. But it's official. 2016. Thoughts?
If it's for the better, do it. I'd rather them delay the game to make it better.
Time.
Now, if this is just to avoid getting hit with, launching while other games are being released, I don't know.
But I mean, Microsoft should have. I mean, look, if you're an owner of Xbox One, there's a lot of content, a lot of third-party games, and also first-party games that are going to be releasing for 2016. I think more than Sony and Nintendo when it comes to first-party for this year.
I mean, you're not worried, are you?
Nah, at all.
You're not worried about Microsoft in the holidays, are you?
They still
are you
have
worried
Tomb
about
Raider,
Quantum Break,
which is supposed to ship later this year.
Yeah, I think Tomb Raider will be more than enough, at least for me, for exclusive-wise. Because that's something I definitely want to play.
Well, we were having that conversation offline in the chat earlier this morning, like Mandy and David and those guys. And we were kind of trying to figure out Microsoft's timeline on with these exclusives, because we now know that Halo 5 is coming October 27th, which makes sense because they want to get completely out of the way of Call of Duty and Battlefront November. So it makes total sense to release it then. Forza 6 is probably early-ish October, I would guess, because it's typically when it comes out.
I think September.
Okay, if you let me finish, I was going to get to my next point. I don't know, but see, that's the thing. Let's go with your thing and say that Forza 6 does come out in September. Where's Tomb Raider? Are they realistically going to put out Tomb Raider in November, or are they going to try and get out earlier?
I think maybe either. Well, first of all, we don't know their exclusive game that's coming out this year from Rare. That's another thing.
Well, that's assumptions. We don't want to assume anything. We want to just go by the games that we know.
I think that Tomb Raider might be coming out because remember they are going to release.
That's not holiday.
Really?
September.
That's way too early.
September is the start of holiday. So that's my guess. My guess that kicks off the holiday for Xbox is going to be Tomb Raider. Then you'll get Forza in October, early October, and then Halo in late October. I got a feeling Microsoft's just going to completely bail on the November, and whatever this Rare mystery title is, that might be their November game. Because you also got to think with Tomb Raider. They only recently found out that Uncharted got delayed to 2016. There was no way Microsoft was going to put that game up head-to-head with Uncharted 4, which most likely would have released in November.
It all makes sense to me. I mean, one big game a month, and you're right. I mean, I think between Battlefront and Call of Duty, that's most of people's money, at least the hardcore. So, like, what are they going to have left over for? So, it's
and then one little nugget, and we might transition into something else you and I want to talk about, Danny.
Yeah.
Look, if the Joe Montana nonsense is real, then that's coming out in August.
Well, they did mention that the game is real, but now is it exclusive for Xbox? That's the big rumor.
Right. That's the big if. Is it going to be exclusive? Because, I mean, we don't need to get all into Joe Montana licensing stuff, but the only way that game even has a chance is if they somehow can get the NFL license, because they don't, forget it. I could care less.
It brings me back memories of one of the greatest football games of all time, NFL 2K5. You remember that, Parris?
Oh, of course. Greatest sports game ever made.
I think we all had a copy at some point. It was that good.
It was $20. $20.
Yeah,
like how could
that was the thing I completely forgot about. Is it was $20? I mean, just to go back to 2005 and think best football game to come out, best sports game, and it was only $20. It was like complete no brainer.
Yeah, and it was so ahead of its time. Like we were looking around for videos like of 2K5, and Parris found one video of, I think they were comparing NFL 2K5 versus the latest Madden game, which is 10 years old, compare, right? And wow, 2K5 was ahead of its time.
Not even close.
That's the crazy part. I mean, take graphics aside, the presentation of NFL 2K5 is superior to Madden 15. I mean, think about that for a second. That's crazy in itself, but just the stats that they were doing, you had the first person mode. I remember even with the online leagues, because I was in like a couple of them back in the day. You also had the thing where you could, you know how like Forza 5 has the ghosts or whatever they do. Hey, with the power of the cloud, they have the ghosts and all kind of stuff. Well, NFL 2K5 had the same thing where if I had a rival that I was playing all the time, he was beating me, I could basically download his ghost and play against his ghost character, and it would pick up attributes from the actual player, and and would change over time as the player kept playing the game. That's how advanced that game was 10 years ago, and there's still nothing like it to this day. It's crazy.
They don't have no competition. Automatically, people are gonna buy Madden. So I was telling Parris, like, look, imagine this Joe Montana game get announced during the Microsoft press conference. Honestly speaking, it's not a system seller. It's just maybe something that probably the hardcore fans are been waiting for an NFL game from 2K. Probably they're going to be excited. But honestly speaking, people are not going to go to the store and buy an Xbox One just for that game.
No. I'll take you a step further. I know you're going to ask me the question. I'll just say it myself. Uh-huh. I'm not getting MLB The Show this year. And it's a conscious decision. I really thought about it. I think I'm done with sports games just altogether.
What made you say, like, I don't want to buy it at all?
Because, again, the online portion of MLB The Show is broken. So I'm getting, even though I like baseball and I like all the things that Sony has done with that series, it's basically just become the Madden for baseball where it's a $60 roster update. I mean, there's only so many little improvements you can keep making on the game to where you're just getting new rosters. So here I am again. Let me start over again. And I know you can import saves, do all kind of stuff, but it's like, all right, let me build up my team again. Let me play it through 162 games again. Let me see where I am statistically compared to the real stuff. There's so many other games out there I want to play over the summer that I don't think I want to put in the time this year. So I'm just going to pass. And the fact that I can't have an online, a reliable online implementation of it so I can play against some of my friends, it's like, I think I'm done. I'm not going to play.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
What was the last sports game you guys bought? The last one?
Oh, Lord. It might have been 2K5 we were just talking about. It's been a long time since I've been into that kind of stuff.
The first UFC MMA game.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Forgot about that game. But I bought the last sports game was when Michael Jordan was on the cover of NFL 2K.
Yeah.
Jordan was on the cover of NFL?
Not NFL. NBA, my God, major fail.
Man, Jordan really did do everything. That's
He played
amazing.
baseball and golf.
Jesus, he was so good.
That's great.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
You were listening to Gamer Tag Radio.
By the way, we have a couple of reviews this week, right?
Yeah.
We're going to play the review of Battlefield Hardline that came out a couple weeks ago, but I really wanted, Pete and Paustin to take their time with the game. So we're going to play the review right now.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
Hardline is the latest iteration of the Battlefield series and brought to you by EA and Visceral Games for the Xbox One, Xbox 360, Sony PlayStation 3 and 4, as well as on PC via EA's Origin service. This is the first major Battlefield release not developed by DICE, and believe it or not, holds up surprisingly well. Today we'll be doing a split-style review with myself reviewing the single-player campaign and our own Paustin J will be reviewing the multiplayer. Battlefield Hardline is a first-person shooter combined with stealth elements made popular by games like Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Solid. Campaign plays out as a 10-episode TV storyline, eerily similar to The Shield and Miami Vice. You play as Detective Nick Mendoza as he and his partner travel from Miami to LA and back, chasing a deadly drug cartel. Unlike previous Battlefield games where the focus was military warfare, Hardline focuses on the law enforcement and corruption. One of the major differences in Hardline is the ability to scan the area and stealthily arrest your targets rather than going in guns blazing. I apparently prefer the latter, and this is probably because of my lowbrow shooter mentality, while others may prefer the more cerebral stealth approach, to each his own. There's enough elements from nearly every gaming genre, like the aforementioned stealth mechanic and quick-time events to please most gamers. Hell, you even get to drive a tank. There's a fair amount of weapons to choose from, but you'll need to level up your character to gain access to these. The easiest way to gain XP and weapons is to detain and arrest the threats found everywhere in the game. Or you can shoot them like I did. Did I mention there's a tank? Weapon balance, though, in favor of the enemy seemed a bit heavy-handed, and in some sections of the game were a bit frustrating due to the AI being overly aware and their Metal Gear-style cone of awareness. I will say I was a bit disappointed to hear that while it does play at 60 frames per second, the game plays at 720p on the Xbox One and 900p on the PlayStation 4, even after initial reports last year stated it would play at 1080p on both consoles. While not a game changer, I felt it does need to be mentioned. Overall, the single-player campaign is a solid 7 to 8 hour ride filled with action and recommended to fans of action and shooting games everywhere. Now on to Paustin for the multiplayer.
Hey, GTR, and I'll be covering the multiplayer component of Battlefield Hardline. Now, for the most part, Hardline follows in the footsteps of previous Battlefields that have come before it. Conquest and Team Deathmatch return, obviously. But it's what's new here that sets Hardline apart from its brethren. First off, like Battlefield 4 before it, Hardline supports up to 64 players online. However, unlike 4, Hardline adds the ability to join as a hacker, one per team, effectively raising the number of players to 66 overall. Hacking is a non-combat role where you spend the game basically assisting your team from the map screen. So you see an overhead display, you can see all your teammates running around, And here you can hack security cameras to reveal enemies to your teammates. You can jam enemy GPS so they can't see your allies. And you can activate things like gas suppression systems to neutralize enemies, to name a few. It's a neat addition, but honestly, in 90% of the matches I played, no one chose the hacking roles. So it's definitely a niche feature, but thankfully the other new additions are much more compelling. Namely, the new game modes and gameplay changes. There's 5 new game modes in Hardline: Heist, Hotwire, Blood Money, Rescue, and Crosshair. Heist, as the name implies, pits criminals against the police as the bad guys try to steal money from a secure vault and escape with it while the cops try to stop them. This mode is a blast to play because it places such heavy importance on good teamwork and greatly rewards clever strategies. Blood Money, on the other hand, mixes it up by giving both the police and the criminals their own vault that they have to defend, along with a big pile of money in the middle of the map. Each team must steal money and return it to their vault to score, but be warned, money stolen directly from your team's vault is subtracted from your team's score, so both offense and defense are key for this. Rescue and Crosshair are unique because they limit the teams to only 5 vs 5 and disable respawns. Rescue tasks the police with rescuing hostages and extracting them to a safe zone, while Crosshair designates one player as a VIP and must be escorted by his police teammates to an extraction zone. Obviously, the criminals can win by either killing all the police and hostage rescue or by killing the VIP in Crosshair. Both of these modes are round-based and are won by winning the majority of said rounds, best out of 9. Now, what sounds like a Counter-Strike ripoff, and to be fair, it pretty much is lifted directly from it, both of these modes are a surprising amount of fun due to the mechanics of Battlefield, namely the healing revive mechanic of the medic class. So when you're down, you're not totally down, you still have a chance to be revived. Also, the destructible environments of Battlefield. So normally in a situation like Counter-Strike, where there's only one way into a room, in Battlefield, you can blow down every wall, every door, most obstacles. It totally changes the game up. It makes something quite chaotic. So really, you have some really chaotic gunfights going on all the time. It's a lot of fun. Finally, there's Hotwire. And now Hotwire is a vehicular twist and my favorite out of the bunch. So basically Hotwire, it's like traditional Conquest, but instead of the stationary capture points, in Hotwire, these are vehicles. So you actually have to capture these vehicles and then drive them. But not only drive them, you have to drive them fast. You only score points when you're driving at top speed, and you better believe the other enemy team is going to do everything they can to turn you into a flaming wreck. Teamwork is everything in Hotwire because it's up to you to drive, but more importantly, to your passengers to not only defend you and destroy enemy vehicles, but repair you too when you take damage. And every time a vehicle is destroyed, it respawns back in its original spot, creating this mad dash by both teams to get over and secure it. It really, really is a lot of fun to play. But really, let's be honest. What's a Battlefield game without good maps, right? Luckily, all 9 of Hardline's maps are not only well designed, but each is pretty unique and offering a distinct playstyle that pretty much varies between game modes. There really isn't a bad one out of the bunch. You travel between large national banks, towns out in the desert, multi-million-dollar mansions in LA, and even the Florida Everglades. Some of these battlegrounds you'll be fighting in are just really cool, really well designed, have cool visual motifs, and like the previous Battlefield games, Battlefield 4, you have the Levolution system where there's one big explosion or impact that you can cause that kind of, not drastically, but definitely changes the map design and the gameplay design based around the after effect. So that brings us now to the gameplay changes, namely the removal of light machine guns and rocket launchers from your custom loadout. So you can no longer equip these things in your custom loadout, but instead now they're power weapons a la Halo that spawn on the map and regenerate throughout as they're used. So really, it's a nice change of pace because vehicles have a much longer lifespan because everyone isn't constantly spamming rockets into the air to take down helicopters and stuff like that. Instead, those weapons are kind of more powerful. You have things like the RPG, which is a direct shot and does a lot of damage, but you also have things like a Stinger missile, which locks on and pretty much destroys any vehicle unless a countermeasure is used. So it really makes it that much more satisfying to get to that power weapon secured and then use it to blow up the enemy team's objectives. It's just a lot more fun that way. Also, there's the addition of the grappling hook and the zip line. The grappling hook allows you to quickly ascend any building, making a rope that your teammates can use to go up and down. And the zip line, on the other hand, you can fire from the top of a building onto an adjacent building or the ground to quickly get from one side to another, or to traverse some, large gap that you couldn't normally make it through otherwise. So really, overall, Battlefield Hardline's multiplayer is a lot of fun. I mean, the maps are great, the new game modes are fantastic, and there really is enough gear here to unlock to keep you busy for quite some time. So really, Battlefield fans, you're not going to be disappointed. And even though I know there's some people out there that felt burned by Battlefield 4, and maybe got turned off, I know I personally did not play much Battlefield 4 outside the campaign. So really, Hardline felt like the kind of game that I want to play again. So even if you've had bad experiences with past Battlefields, give Hardline a shot. It could be the style of Battlefield you want to play, because it is just a little bit different from the mainstream Battlefield series, but enough where it feels unique and it's fun. And really, some of those new game modes, like I said, Hotwire, really are a blast and really do change up the traditional Battlefield mechanic. So I think it's worth it. Go take it out. Pass it back over to the guys.
All right, so we're back. Q&A time. So, Paustin, I know you haven't played Battlefield in a while.
Yeah, my last experience was just the campaign of 4, and then I rented it basically and took it back because it was at the launch of the PS4. I was so distracted by next gen and so many other things, and it was the last thing on my mind. So I think I've kind of got an advantage because I'm not tired of Battlefield multiplayer like maybe a lot of people that are still playing 4, once they finally fixed it. So really, my last Battlefield was 3 on 360 last gen. So really, this jump to Xbox One with Hardline with 64 players online, which 3 did not have on last gen. It's really impressive to me. And I know, Pete and Parris is PC gamers. That means nothing to them. But as a console gamer, having 64 players online and seeing that, and it all running smoothly on dedicated servers, it's really a lot of fun. And I like I said in the review, I think really every Battlefield game comes down to the game modes, but more importantly, the maps. And I think they really succeeded on both fronts, because you have your basic conquest and your team deathmatch, which everyone's familiar with. But the new ones they added, obviously the heist is kind of the premier one because it's cop versus robbers. But it was the Hotwire one, the vehicular version of that, totally sold me and kind of blindsided me how much fun it is to just drive around with your friends, almost like you're playing GTA Online, and everyone's just hanging out the window doing drive-bys at each other, and you're all trying to swerve to avoid explosions, and there's a war going on, and helicopters are falling out of the sky. It's pretty badass altogether. I mean,
Pete, you've been playing online too with Paustin, or just been separated playing?
Actually, we played one day with Paustin, and then usually I'm playing with my normal set of online friends, but I can't tell which one I've put more time into, which is between the single player and the multiplayer. I'm usually not a Battlefield person. Everybody knows me. I am recovering Call of Duty player,
and then Destiny,
and now currently on the decline. Falling out of the Destiny's good graces, but I have put probably, if not equal, maybe a little bit more time on the multiplayer than I did on the single player.
Okay.
It's that much fun. And like Paustin said, the heist mode, Hotwire, dude, you can jump on a couch. There's an actual, it's called the American Dream. So you can get a couch with 4 people and you drive around just like a regular vehicle, people sitting on the back, sitting on the sides of the couches. Yeah. And if you get hit or killed, like run over by the couch, it says, instead of Pete Rock using an AK-47 killed Paustin, it says the American Dream. Or no, I'm sorry, it says America.
America. All right.
America. It's amazing. They've taken so many clues from social media and as well as just regular first person shooting multiplayer and combine them into fun. It's gotten to the point now, like my regular crew, we'll get text messages back and forth through the team, and it's Hardline tonight. We've given up on Destiny. It's a lot of fun.
What about you, Parris? No questions for the guys?
I played it on the PC, and I haven't played the single player at all. I just played a little bit of heist mode. Not a lot to really give it a fair judgment or anything, but it was good. It was smooth. Had no issues at all. Hopping into servers, no issues. Community, it seemed fine. I was playing with random people, but I definitely listening to Pete's portion of the single player. I definitely want to jump into that and check it out. It has a very Shield. It sounds like an episode of the Shield. So
it does. Yeah. It really does. It really. And if you like that, and it's one of the reasons why I use that as one of the references, because that's, while I did use the Miami Vice one for, us older gray haired folks, the Shield is, it's still fresh in everybody's minds, and it's very, very similar. Like you'll see some tie-ins to that, and I love It kind of sounds and looks cliche, but when you see the, previously on Hardline, and it goes through all of the major points from the previous level or episode that you play, it kind of makes it seem like you're watching TV, but an interactive TV show.
So I like that. I like that from Alan Wake and stuff.
It was great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's right. Alan Wake did that too, and I think Split Second.
Yeah, they did. But I agree. I want to touch on the single player a little bit. I was pretty impressed overall, not only by the storytelling was good, but like the voice acting was really well done. For essentially what should have, I felt like some parts of the single player kind of were a little bit slower than others, namely parts where, like you said, you had to stealth through. And, I had a situation once where I had to stealth through a whole, I think 15 guys, and I took them all out and arrested them and got credit. And then it glitched up at the end when I got stuck on a doorway because I didn't let the bad guy progress through the doorway to trigger the next cutscene, and it failed me and I had to restart. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna kill everybody. But I do like that mechanic where basically you are rewarded for playing like a cop, and that's the thing. You are supposed to be a cop, but you can kill everybody if you want, but you get the most upgrade points from arresting people and interrogating them. And I definitely found myself playing in a different manner than I'm used to. And it was harder because even though I was playing on, veteran, the hardest difficulty setting, so the gunfights were intense, I was like, I'm a cop. I shouldn't be shooting everybody in the face, even though I want to. I'm going to try to sneak around and take them out. And it was rewarding because it forced me to play in a different manner than, how I play Call of Duty single player, for example, which is very
I'm too much of a caveman for that. I would try it, and at the first opportunity of failure, I was shooting up the place.
Yeah. But it was nice that they had the balance. Do you find it replayable at all? Because I don't personally. I think the story worked the first time is propelling you through, but I don't find the gameplay interesting enough
I would
to go
say
back
because
through.
of the fact that I went in caveman style with guns blazing, yes, it does, because now I'm kind of intrigued as to, can I go in and do this a la Shepard, or whatever. Was it Shepard from Splinter Cell? What was his name?
Oh, Sam Fisher? Yeah.
Can I, now, that twinge inside me is, do you think you can do it, and sneak around and just arrest people and hit them with the taser or just bring them down? Or are you just going to get freaking caveman again and bring out the billy club and just start shooting everything? So
I got to say, I think they managed to pull it off. To be fair, I've never held up people at gunpoint before, but the game lets you hold people up at gunpoint, and it says up to 3 at a time. So it is very stressful to try to, arrest 3 people without the second or third person shooting you in the face. And even though you're supposed to have a partner, I had a lot of times where my partner would get stuck on something. So where they were supposed to help me arrest people, they were getting me shot in the face.
The AI is kind of stupid. Job. There's times where you run around really stupid, and they're just out there wide out in the open, and it's like, what are you doing? Overall, I had a really fun time playing both aspects, and
same.
I would say, surprisingly, it is a very, very solid game.
Cool.
Not coming from a
shout out to EA for sending you guys copies of the game, and also PC version for Parris.
Yes,
is that the superior version, Parris?
Of course it is.
Okay,
is it still 64 players or is it more?
It's like 64 players. I mean, obviously you can play it in 4K if you want. I mean, just depending on if you have the hardware to push it.
It is not 4K on Xbox One.
Which like Pete brought that up during his review portion. I mean, that is disappointing. I mean, like we said, obviously the resolution and all that nonsense doesn't matter at the end of the day as long as you have the great gameplay experience. But it's disappointing. Mm-hmm. Hey, again, this is why I'm going all in on PC. It's disappointing to me that this game is not in 1080p on these consoles. The fact that these consoles can't do it, it's disappointing. Just for me, though. Overall, if the game's fun, the game's fun. Doesn't matter. But it is disappointing that this hardware is limited in that fashion.
Yeah. If the gameplay wasn't that style of game, I would be much more critical of it because yeah, draw distances not looking too hot, no anti-aliasing at all. But because the gameplay stays smooth, there's no frame rate drops. That's why I like it so much. But yeah, it definitely could use in the future. It could use a little upgrading because it kind of looks. It's that weird line between like some parts look really last gen, and then like some parts like whoa, that's amazing. Like some of the faces in single player, the transition is really weird. Like they couldn't nail it down, but overall, still a fun game.
Go for it, Parris.
No. Ask a question because then we can move on. Because I have a confession after you say this.
Oh, I was gonna ask to you guys, like when you review a game, sometimes personally for me, I either like to play normal. If it's way too hard, I put it a little bit easier for me. So, because I would like to know more about the story and learn more about the game, and for me to get used to it. Once I finish the game, then I go back and put it the harder difficulty. What I notice is Paustin, he will put it like the most hardest difficulty. I think it's very frustrating to play in hard and not knowing what's going to happen. But do you guys, when you review any type of game, you put it hard, normal, easy?
I'll say it this way. If it's a game that I'm actually reviewing that I'm going to have on the show, I'll typically try and play it. Like it depends. Like if, you know, when we get the review materials from from PR or whatever, I try to go with whatever they recommend. That way I can get through the game and actually have, complete it and, have an opinion on it. And then I'll go back. But if I'm just playing casually on my own, then I always ramp up the difficulty. Except for Halo. I know Halo would be the one exception because I would always play it on a heroic. I would never play it on normal.
Really? Not even the classic Halos? Because I think Legendary is very fair in Halo 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, it's like...
Well, that's what I mean. I always play on heroic first because I know I can get through the game and I can experience it. I go back and do Legendary just for the challenge of it. But yeah, like as far as playing on easy or normal, I never do that.
I try to play it all to unlock all the achievements.
Gotcha.
Gears of War is the same way. I always play Gears of War on the harder level as well.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, for me, it's usually if the game's a first-person shooter or third-person shooter, I will always default to the harder setting just because I think it's more fun that way to make the fights as quote-unquote as realistic as possible. They die in 1-2 shots, I die in 1-2 shots. That's what I like. But yeah, like if it's an action game or most other things, the difficulty can vary greatly. I'm not sure what I'm in for. I'll default to the normal to be safe.
I'm a Kuchenberg. I go for medium. I go for normal.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't try to make it too difficult like Paustin. Paustin's got personal issues.
I like my military sims and everything with a gun.
No, man. I put it at normal the way that the developer designed it to be played. And that's just my personal preference. Everybody has their own preference.
Of course. I'm just curious because, man, I was playing Ori. Dude, I finished the game. It was tough.
Ori on normal, it makes me
oh my
want
god,
to,
Ori's difficulty settings.
Wait, no, there is no difficult setting. Is it?
I was about to say I suck at the platforming, so I'm glad that it can't hopefully got any harder.
No, there's no difficulty, but I'm just saying like there's parts in the game, especially at the end. It's tough. It's really
that game makes you want to punt baby seals. It's too hard sometimes.
All right,
something to look forward
Parris,
to.
revealed whatever you wanted to say. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. So I have to make a confession, and please, you guys, help me. Listeners, help me. Send me angry messages. I watched the Grand Theft Auto 5 60 frames per second trailer today. It's coming out for the PC. I think next week or the week after.
Yeah.
I kind of think I want to buy it, and I know I shouldn't.
Wait a minute. Wait.
I literally would be I would be triple dipping if I do that.
Wait, you purchased the 360 version or PlayStation 3 version,
4, and then this would be PC.
3, 4. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you even play it? I mean,
that's what my point. I'm not even playing it on the PlayStation because I played it on PlayStation 3, right? And then I got it on PlayStation 4, played it for a little bit, got Destiny Fever, and kind of forgot about it. Yeah, dude, please save me from myself.
I think you shouldn't do it. I think it's enough is enough, Parris.
Yeah, it's enough. Please,
because it's there collecting dust for the PlayStation 4, right?
Well, it's digital, so it's like inside the
It's collecting
internet.
dust digitally.
Digital dust.
On the hard drive.
Nah, I think you should. Honestly, dude, like, I think that's not a good idea.
No, it's not.
See,
I know it's not.
You guys but once the mods come out.
But see, that's why I'm saying it. I'm saying it out loud because I know it's ridiculous. But in my head, I keep, you know how you have the little angel and little devil on your shoulder? Little devil's like, go ahead, dude. Just get it.
And then you know what happened to me? I'm not gonna lie. I was checking out the store, the Xbox One store. I'm like, let's see what's new, what's coming. and I got to see Borderlands. I'm like, man, I like Borderlands, but I never played the pre-sequel game. I want to try it too. Man, should I not? Dude, for like 2-3 days, I was debating, and I was like, you know what? And I bought it. And I have it there, and I downloaded it. So I know how it is, Parris. I know how it is. So.
Yeah, I'm the marketing hype like got me because I saw that trailer and I was like, oh man, it looks so smooth, man.
Like,
oh, it looks so good. Oh, I'm building this new PC. Oh my god, it'll look fantastic on it. I should get it.
So you're debating on buying the game just because of the look of the game?
I mean, have you seen this trailer? I'm literally watching right now as you guys are talking.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the trailer.
I'm pretty jealous as per somebody played that game on PS3.
It's part of the thing of, I'm building this new PC. I want to be able to just show it off, the horsepower and everything. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, this would look great. I should just get it. And then I was like, no, dummy, don't get it because you played the one you got now. So why are you getting it? Oh yeah, I'm being dumb. I'm not getting it.
All right,
you big dummy.
All right.
But if you see, but if you see Grand Theft Auto 5 on Steam, it's because someone gifted it to me because I'm not buying it. hey, wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
That's a story. He's sticking to it.
That's true.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio.
Oh, by the way, Parris, you have a review for this week too, right?
Yes, I did a review for the SteelSeries H Wireless gaming headset.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to play it right now.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
Hey, folks. I don't care what Danny says. I'm going to intro myself anyways. This is Parris with Gamertag Radio, and this week I want to talk about the SteelSeries H Wireless gaming headset. I want to thank SteelSeries for providing this headset to us. And before we get into the review, I just want to let you guys know I did a direct comparison with the Astro A50 gaming headset, and I reviewed this across 3 platforms on the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and the PC. Now onto the review. First up, let's talk build quality. There's 2 components to this headset. You have the actual headset itself, which solid headset has a couple hour break-in period to as far as being comfortable. Now I have a giant head, so your mileage may vary, but I found that after wearing it for a few hours, the headset tended to loosen up a bit. When I first put these on, they were very tight on my head, but like I said, after a few hours, they loosened up. And 2 weeks in now of wearing these headsets, they feel perfectly fine, no issues at all. One thing I like about on the headset itself is the fact that it has a retractable microphone similar to the Siberia V3 headsets that I reviewed from SteelSeries a few weeks ago. One thing that separates this, though, is the fact that I can control the volume, the power on and off, as well as the mute function directly on the headset. Now, if you've ever used an Astro A50, hand placement's a little different compared to those. So, I mean, it's just something, again, after you're wearing for a few hours and using them, you'll really get used to it. Now, going back to that mute feature on the microphone, I love the fact that it has a visual indicator because when you hit mute on these microphones, the actual mic itself will turn red to let you know it's on mute. And when you unselect mute, it'll turn off again to let you know that you're active in the voice channel. Now, since I'm talking about the mic, I might as well go into gameplay-wise, playing Halo Master Chief Collection, playing Destiny, playing Battlefield Hardline, those type of games. Perfectly fine voice-wise. My teammates were able to hear me without issue. Didn't sound abnormal to any other type of gaming headset you use. So definitely on the chat side of using these headsets, no issues at all. Now, again, I talk about the build quality of the headset itself. It comes with a removable battery, which I really like. So you don't necessarily have to constantly remember to plug in your headsets to recharge them. And it comes with a second battery in the box that you can recharge in the receiver that you're plugging into your console or the PC. So let's talk about that receiver for a second. I love this thing. I think it's great. You can also control the volume on the receiver itself. It comes with presets for the equalizer. So just depending on sound quality, the atmosphere that you're looking for when you're playing a game or listening to a movie. You have presets that you can go through, but you can also customize these presets as well. And you can change the sound quality and tweak it to exactly what you want it to be, which to me is the highlight of these headsets. I feel like everyone can have their own personal customized experience when they're using these headsets, which is fantastic. Again, going back to the receiver itself, you also have presets in that if I'm on the Xbox One, I can have my Xbox preset, I can have my PlayStation preset, I can have my PC preset. So you're not constantly fiddling with settings to get it just right, depending on what piece of hardware you're using to play your games on. So again, another highlight of this receiver that I really liked. Going to the PC for a second, you can actually plug this in via USB and not use optical at all, and you're able to get sound through that. You're also able to power the receiver itself and actually charge the batteries. I really like that, except for the fact that when I use sound via USB, the volume's lower, and I know it's using Dolby headphone versus Dolby 7.1 surround, which again, if you're using optical, you get full Dolby 7.1 surround sound from this, which again sounds great. But using it via USB, the sound was a little too low for me, so I didn't like that option. So I went back to optical even when I was on the PC. And again, you're using optical when you're on the Xbox One and you're on the PlayStation 4. Again, you'll need the chat adapter on the Xbox One along with the chat cable to plug directly into the headset, similar to what you would be doing on the Astro A50s as well. Now, going back to sound quality, this is where I want to do my direct comparison to the Astro A50s. I like the SteelSeries H Wireless better. Again, it goes to the fact that I can customize the sound experience to what I want it to be. I'm not a super big heavy bass guy, and the fact that I can control the bass sound coming out of the H Wireless versus what you have on the Astro A50 was a highlight to me. To put it simply, I feel like the H Wireless sounds better. Again, because I can customize it to what I want it to be versus the presets that come on the Astro A50. Overall, though, if you ask me, because price-wise they're exactly the same, Astro A50, SteelSeries H Wireless are both $299 retail. If you said to me, Parris, which one are you going to pick up? Which one should I spend my money on? I'm going to tell you, go get the SteelSeries. Again, I keep saying this over and over. The fact that I can customize the experience for what I want it to be just trumps anything that Astro has, in my personal opinion. I understand Astro is a leader in the clubhouse. That when you think gaming headset, that's what people tend to gravitate to. But I'm telling you, SteelSeries has a fantastic product here. I would highly recommend it to anyone. And it's not just for gaming. I've used these headsets just watching movies, and I mean, the sound reproduction is excellent. I have no issues at all. And one thing, before I forget this, is also the range. The range on these things are fantastic. I mean, I can literally walk all over my house and not have a drop at all. Whereas Astro A50s, if I get more than 20 feet away from the receiver, I'm losing sound immediately. So again, sound quality, the price is exactly the same. The build on this thing is fantastic. Highly recommended headset for me. SteelSeries H Wireless gaming headset. If you're looking for a 7.1 surround sound wireless gaming headset for your gaming convenience, highly recommended. I can't say it enough. Go pick it up. This is Parris Game Tag Radio. Now let's send it back to the show.
All right. Questions for Parris?
Better than the Astros, really?
Yeah, you know what? And I don't feel I did a good enough job during the actual review I did explaining that. It's a personal preference. Like I love my Astro A50s, absolutely loved them before I got these headsets. But I got the H Wireless, and the fact that I could tinker with the sound quality, I feel the Astros are too bassy. I've always thought that. And the fact that I've been able to scale down the bass a little bit, I feel like I'm being immersed in the sound more when I'm playing games, and I like it. And these headsets are a tighter feel on my head. You know, I got a big old head, mutant head, but you know, once you break them in, it just feels right. So I've found myself defaulting to these H Wireless over the last 2 weeks over the Astro. Like literally right now, my Astros are disconnected, sitting in a basket. I don't even have them connected anymore. I'm using H Wireless.
We can't be friends.
But here's the thing. The Astros, look, they got the name brand. They got the recognition. Like, I'm at the Call of Duty Championships last weekend. Everybody has Astro headsets on. I get it. They are the de facto go-to device when you want a wireless gaming headset. You know, I understand that. These SteelSeries H Wireless, they're the same exact price. So it's not even, you can save money and get these. It really comes down to personal preference. But the one thing about the H Wireless that I also like is the fact that you have the removable battery and you always have a second battery charging. So you don't have to be consciously sitting there thinking about, man, am I running out of juice? Do I need to recharge? You always have another battery ready to go.
Did you ever have a chance? Did you ever play long enough to drain your battery?
I purposely did for testing purposes, and I got about a good 20 hours out of these out of this battery. So I mean, the battery life is really good, you know. And that's the other thing with the receiver that comes with this headset. It can give you a visual indicator on there that the battery's coming low. So you'll know. You're like, oh man, my battery's starting to go low. I need to switch it out. So, you know, all right, next time I get a chance, I'll swap batteries, charge this one and put the new one in. And I also like that you have the preset. So when I connect it to the Xbox, I just turn a dial. I'm on the Xbox preset. I have it already set up to the preference of what I want. When I'm on the PC, have it all set up for I want a PC, PlayStation 4, you know, etc. So I just feel like I have more flexibility with these headsets. And like I said, the fact that I can tinker the sound, I prefer them. I like them more. I like the build of it. I like the faux leather, whatever you want to call it, of the
pleather.
Yeah. You know, of the ear cups. Just, I like it. I really do. And wow. I would, if you ask me, if you had $300 and you're like, I'm going to get one, which one are you going to get? I'm going to tell you get the SteelSeries H Wireless.
Wow. Over
the Astros. I think Astros are a lot of name. You know what Astros are? They're the Beats of the gaming world. That's what they are.
Beats. Wow. Oh my gosh! Wow.
And I'm not saying, not saying that because I dislike the Astro headsets, because I do like them. Don't get me wrong. I just think these are better.
Damn, that's a lot coming from Parris.
Wow.
That's
and
huge,
here I am. I don't like the Beats by Dre headphones, but I love my Astros. So it's kind of like I'm like cheating.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing, Pete. You're fine because you don't know necessarily what you're missing. And it will take you a little bit of work to tinker the headset. Out of the box, the Astros are going to be better than these because you need to go in and tinker with the equalizer and get it the way you want it to be. But once you get it to where you want it to be, then you're going to be happy, because if there's any little quirk in the Astro sound wise that you don't like, you can customize it on the SteelSeries to get rid of that. I think that's the big difference.
I mean, just the battery life. I mean, I don't think I've ever been able to go longer than 10, maybe 12 hours on a pair of Astros before the battery wipes out on me. And, you know, you do get the audible tone, but
yeah.
Sometimes like that could be lost in the drown. You know, that could be lost in the sound of explosions when you're watching a movie or a game or whatever. So
yeah, and that's one other thing, the range on them. I can walk all around the house and back with these things, staying connected, getting perfect sound on them. I walked across the street and only then did I lose connection.
Wow.
I'm serious.
I didn't realize you had these things on your noggin.
Yeah. But to be fair, my office is at the front of the house. So it's not like this was at the back of the house and I went completely across the street, you know, but I walked across the street to my neighbor's house. And once I got to his porch, that's when I lost signal. So the range is definitely at least double of what the Astros are, because I can tell you right now with the Astros, if I walk out of this office and head towards the kitchen, all of a sudden I hear beep, beep, you know, because
it's true. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's go now with fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
All right. So we have the first email. This is from Dan, aka Blitz23NZ. He writes, "Hey team, just wondering what are your thoughts on the new Halo 5 trailers? Theories about what it all means. Did it get you guys hyped for the game or what? Also, I'm looking forward to your Bloodborne review, as it seems Sony has delivered something special." Talk to Paustin about that. But
yeah, please hit me up.
Yeah.
If you have it, please, I could use some co-op help because I suck.
All right.
But we'll say that for next week.
Yeah, but Halo 5 the trailers that came out, I believe there was 2 of them. They premiered during the Walking Dead season finale. Also, it's online. You can find it. And also, they released a podcast series, kind of, right?
Reminds me off Serial.
Yeah. it's cereal basically. So, what are your theories, Parris? Because I know you're hardcore Halo guy.
Well, it looks like on the surface, and obviously this is to be determined when the game comes out, that you're going to probably play the same levels as Master Chief and as Locke, but you're going to see it from different points of view. Like, I think a great example is, I don't know if any of you guys on here played Tales from the Borderlands, the Telltale game.
Yeah, I played. Oh, it's like that.
Yeah, but you know how they're going through this. They're basically retelling the story, and then one of them's like lying, so the other one will come in, but like, it's not how it went, kind of thing. So I almost think we're going to have an element of that in this, where you're going to have Chief's version of the truth, and you're going to have Locke's version of the truth. We might almost have a Batman Superman kind of vibe here, where they may clash at some point, but then by the end of it, they're obviously probably going to team up and work together. Is what I'm thinking.
So here's my question. I don't know if you guys heard the podcast. I haven't listened to the first episode. I only listened to episode 0, which is an introduction of a journalist that's in the podcast, and he's investigating about Master Chief and so on. What are your theories about that, Parris? Because I know you heard it and you're like, oh, it's like cereal.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. Like, I like the fact that the girl from that Halo 3 live action trailer was in this, talking about, John, Spartan 117. It's interesting. You'll put it this way. Microsoft's going to go all out for Halo this year.
I think so.
This is the defining game, not only for the Xbox One, but for the Halo franchise. Because if this doesn't deliver, Halo, not that it might be done, but it's going to lose the popularity that it's had in years past, without a doubt. I like what they're doing, that they're building this legend of Master Chief, and even going into this, it sounds like Master Chief goes rogue at some point. What does that mean for the franchise? What does that mean for Chief? Is he going to be seen as an enemy as some point? Is he going to stay the hero that he was by the end of Halo 3? I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to October 27th. I'll put it that way.
It reminds me of, remember the was it the Bees? What's the name of it? The viral one that
I love Bees.
I love
Bees. Yeah, from back in the days for Halo 2. I think this might be a better story than the last Halo. Like the way how everything is going, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
I sure
I
as
think
heck
it can
hope
only
so.
go up. Yeah. I don't think it can be worse.
Have you heard of the podcast, Paustin, or no?
No.
You should check it out. Check it out.
I will.
Yeah.
But just based off the trailers, I mean, alone, just it looks like the plot is something interesting this time around.
Yeah.
And, I know I've thrown shade at Halo 5 before, but the more I see of this kind of storytelling, that's what interests me. Not whatever generic sci-fi storyline 4 was. Mm-hmm. This looks like something I'd be interested in playing. And then the multiplayer, again, I'll have to try it, I guess, when it comes out after they've taken our feedback from the beta. But I like the storytelling vibe that I'm getting so far. And I agree with Parris. I agree with his I can't even think of the word, analysis of that. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty spot on, and I think that's probably what they need direction to go. And yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with making Master Chief, some kind of anti-hero, if not an antagonist, because, he is the most badass super soldier in the galaxy. We certainly all played through his story enough times. Mm-hmm. That's a cool mechanic. But again, we'll have to see. But October 27th, that's a pretty good date.
All right, so this email is from Keith Norris. Sup, guys? The Zelda delay sucks, but if it doesn't come out on Wii U, I'm probably not going to buy it. I don't see a point to put it on a new console because the people that are reserved will continue to be reserved. If that makes sense. Anyways, here's to Zelda releasing on Wii U.
Hey, Danny, I think you should play the voicemail too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's play right now.
Hey, what's up, Gamer Tag Radio? Just want to give you guys a shout out of the show. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day about the Zelda delay, and said the same thing Parris said. I really feel like they're going to go ahead and release the new Zelda game on Wii U as well as on the Nintendo NX. I can't see it going any other way at this point. The Wii U, unfortunately, is much still of the console. It's a failure. It's not going to get better. So, I think we're going to see something in E3, maybe a teaser. But it's going to be a good time. Either way, it's going to be great for the industry. Appreciate your time, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, so we're back. And who wants to respond to this Zelda?
Well, I'll just say what I said last week.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see this being exclusive to the Wii U at all. And take your time. I mean, if we don't see this until 2017, I'll be perfectly fine with it.
I'm the same way. I mean, I simultaneously agree and disagree with Keith. I mean, I would buy a new Nintendo system for Zelda if, especially if it's going to have a traditional controller and, I think go back to the direction they used to have with the GameCube and 64 and Super Nintendo and not so much the Wii U experimental direction. But I also agree that if people were already waiting for the Wii U version of Zelda, they probably would still wait even after the new console came out because they're just like, well, I'm not going to buy a console for one game. Let me see what else they make for it. And it's a perpetual cycle of just like, well, what will you buy then? What is it going to take to get you a Nintendo console? Because, I mean, people clearly pick their camps. I'm in the Zelda one for sure, but that's obviously not working for them if the Wii U is struggling like it is. So I think new console is the way to go, like we said last week, and I agree with Parris. Put it on both, solve both problems, but
make it compatible. I think where you could play some Wii U games too.
But like, we'll see.
Okay,
I don't know. At this point, I'm not expecting any backwards compatibility anymore because I feel like that's just kind of been thrown away so they can sell it to you as a stream service, which sucks. But I guess the only thing you can do is keep your old consoles.
Okay. All right, next email. Who would like to read that one? Lance Williams.
This is the NPC guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read that one. Shout out to NPC_hero. Actually, I was just reading his Twitter about, sending in an email. Anyways, recently I was told that video games don't have to be fun. I realize that fun is subjective. I also realize that there are different degrees of fun. I just don't understand the point of playing a game if it's not fun on some level. Your thoughts? Lance, you need to get rid of those people that tell you video games don't have to be fun. Don't talk to them. Don't be in their life.
Or unfollow them on Twitter.
Can't unfollow in real life, Dan.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not all
That's
about
true.
social media. Jesus.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but seriously, it's and yes, while you're right, it is subjective. It's up to you. Nobody can tell you what or why you should play.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally up to you. If you want to play something because it's going to scare the bejesus out of you, you go ahead and play it. You want to play something that's going to, get your adrenaline, rushing like Blur. Oh God, I love that game.
Mm-hmm.
Or you want to go caveman and start rampaging through cities with a machine gun. Go do that. Whatever gets you happy is what you should be playing. And that goes regardless of console or platform or game genre. Whatever suits you.
Thank you. That's why I love Sunset Overdrive. But matter of fact, I've been playing the DLC, the new one. Awesome DLC.
Of course you were.
I'm glad you like it, Danny. But no, I mean, I agree with Pete. I mean, you just get negativity out of your life,
yes,
especially if it's from video games of all things, which should be a fun distraction from, the serious stuff in the world. And yeah, fun is subjective, of course. But I mean, like Pete said, we have horror games and we have intense racing games and we have cute, fun platforming games for a reason. There's always something out there for whatever mood you're in. That's a great thing about modern gaming is almost every niche has been filled, and the ones that haven't are being, made right now as we speak. There's always going to be something that you want to play, and if you have to take a break because you can't find anything, go ahead and take a break then. Don't feel, obligated to seek out new games if you're not finding them fun anymore, because, again, I think I agree with that. I think at the end of the day, all games should be fun, but everyone's version of fun is different.
Yep.
So, I love horror games because they scare the crap out of me, but I'm also very bad at them because I play them very slowly. But on the same other hand, I love the intensity of Call of Duty. And, even though I'll get really mad and yell out things that I would never say on this podcast around my mother, I'm still having fun at the end of the day because it's a game. Mm-hmm. So, again, just play what you want to play and ignore all the hate.
Yep. And definitely, too, like, I feel that, besides us having the podcast and stuff, I'm having a blast. And not only that, that's the reason why I met a lot of people like Pete and Parris and Mandy and Paustin, David, a bunch of people we met through the community because of gaming. And it's been fun. I think this has been the best time, in my opinion, when it comes to gaming, like in a very, very long time, because we have so many options to choose. There's so many different type of games, even mobile games. It's up to you if you want to play that or not. So
something for everybody. And if you don't want to spend any money at all, there's a game for you. Mini games for you.
Definitely.
Great.
Parris, anything to say about this or not?
No, I mean, you guys have already said it.
Okay.
I mean, nothing else to say. Look, play what you want, like what you want.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna play this voicemail. This is a pretty cool one. This is more for Parris because I know he mentioned this about. Or this is, I think, during the Ori review that you mentioned this. So we're gonna play this, and you see what I'm talking about.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? This is Jacob giving you a call from Charlotte. First and foremost, great job on the podcast. I'm a big fan. I love listening to it every week. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you guys. This message is for all you guys, mainly Parris. I heard how much you enjoyed Ori the Blind Forest. I don't have an Xbox, so I don't have the chance to play it or a PC. Mainly PlayStation 4. Gamer. But my question is, you said it reminded you a lot of an anime. What animes that you have watched, and it sounds like you watched quite a few, would you love to see a game created based on? I'm a big anime fan myself. Mine personally would be Full Metal Alchemist. I would love to see that game done some justice on one of these current generation consoles. But how about yourself? This question is for you, Parris, but I'd love to hear all of you chime in. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you for everything, really. Peace.
All right, Parris. An anime that you would like to see to become a video game. Which one?
Oh, that is a really good question.
That's a lot of games.
There's too many.
Yeah,
there really are too many. I'm going to go with my stock answer because I think it could be a fantastic story in an action game. I'm going to say Cowboy Bebop, and I'm sticking to it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's like a game so good
I
they
forgot.
couldn't even make it right now.
That's your juice right there. I forgot.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I always default to Bebop for everything.
Why is that?
Because it's fantastic. It's one of the best animes, cartoons, TV, whatever you want to call it. Forget that it's anime. It's one of the best stories you'll ever see.
Oh, no doubt.
It's fantastic.
I think it's the greatest anime of all time. No question.
It is the rare anime that the English dub is superior to the Japanese version.
Wow. Okay.
Steve Bloom, man.
Yeah.
Killed it.
So if they do create that game, what type of style you would like to see it? RPG, fighting, like Dragon Ball, like that, or like?
Parris, did you ever see the Cowboy Bebop PS2 game they made ages ago that never brought over to America?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
You know what I would love to see it in? I would love to see it in the style of Skyrim, set in that verse.
Ooh.
Like I don't need to be Spike or any of those guys. Just create me that world and just stick me in it. Skyrim style.
You could join like the Syndicate, or you become a bounty hunter, dude.
Go work for Vicious. Oh, matter because I don't. Since obviously you're new to all this, Danny. That's where I got my gamer tag from. Vicious.
Oh, really? Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. From the main bad guy in Cowboy Bebop.
Now we know, guys.
One of the best antagonists ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Really good.
All right, cool.
You got to watch that show, Danny.
Yeah. Okay. My girl, she's into anime, so. All right.
That's like the one anime. Even if you don't like anime, you still have to watch.
No, I heard of it. I heard
good.
of it. I just never had a chance to actually sit down and watch.
Now, I'll tell because of Ori, because this is all I kept thinking of when I was playing Ori. I would love to see Spirited Away done in the Ori style. That world.
Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Any Miyazaki thing.
Anything he does would be amazing.
Okay.
How about one Super Miyazaki game with everything in it?
Oh, like a Universal, like
Super RBG. Yeah, Miyazaki Universe. You could just call it Miyazaki
PC,
Universe, and I'd buy it.
Like Kingdom Hearts, like that.
Matter. Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
Someone needs to get on that.
All right, Pete. What about you, man? Mention the game, quick. An anime to a game.
Obviously, the big elephant in the room, Akira. I want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And have to be Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I wanted to say that, but I'm so new into it that I thought that was just cheating.
Well, that's right. We just introduced that to you, but I finished the first season. I'm waiting for the season 2 to pop out. And I know that now there was some video that Mandy dropped us in a chat that now they're on the 3DS, there's going to be an Attack on Titan game.
Mm-hmm. We're getting that ported over from Japan, had that last year.
Wow. Like that would almost make me want to go out and get a 3DS.
How could I forget this? This is what I think I really would want to see. Give me a Gundam game done exactly like Titanfall.
Oh no, but I want like Macross or early like 1979.
To be fair, Robotech would work better with the Titanfall design than Gundam, because any Gundam would just, I mean, it's like a Jedi in Battlefront 2. You were just going to lay waste to every non-Gundam mobile suit. So balance would be hard, but yeah, I totally agree. Like that style, that, Earth versus the colonies, space war, dropping colonies on Earth, that whole madness.
And then the other one, really I think the other one that I brought up was Sword Art Online.
Yep.
One day. Fun to play. That would be fun.
One day. That and Dot Hack one day. We'll just have that.
Or get some EVA.
Or maybe even Black Bullet. I mean, God, we could make this a whole separate show all on its own.
I'm going to go ahead and just say Samurai Champloo, because it's also Watanabe.
Yeah.
And also, as good of a dub as as Bebop was. So Champloo game would also be amazing, because the PS2 one was bad.
Now
Danny just disappeared on the show. Like when you guys talk about just like when you guys talk Nintendo and I fade to the corner. That's what just happened.
But one last thing, because Paustin just made me remember this.
Yeah.
I met him at an E3, 2004. 2005, up in there somewhere, when Bebop was at its height on Cartoon Network. He was at E3. And
Watanabe?
I got him to sign a shirt, which of course I don't have anymore.
Oh wow!
Good job.
Broke my heart.
Yeah, you know why he did the Hulk Hogan, like you ripped it. Ah!
Well, that's when Fat Parris was in his prime. So I mean, I couldn't wear that shirt.
All right, awesome, man. Well, look, guys, next week I'm not gonna be here, and shout out to Pete, Parris, and Paustin. They're gonna be taking over the show. Now, if there's too much PC, let them know. Let them know next week. The week after that.
It's going to be a 3-minute show next week because Danny's just going to re-edit and just dump everything.
He's going to take all the parts.
You're going to get Welcome to Gamertag Radio. Xbox. All right. See you guys next week.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, guys. Head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it to listen to our past episodes. Give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Or email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes.
Before we go, just as a reminder, because if people have been following us on social media and everything, I'm in the middle of building this super gaming rig, right? And there's going to be a lot of reviews coming from the various parts of this PC soon, because a lot of different companies have been donating the parts to us for official reviews on Gamertag Radio. So just look for that coming here in the next couple of weeks. Matter of fact, I'll probably have one for Logitech for their 930 wireless headset coming up next week on the show.
All these companies are showing us a lot of love. That's good. That's really, really dope. I like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you to all the companies supporting us. So I think that's it. Anything else, guys, want to say?
Rest in peace, Chris Paul's ankles.
Okay.
What are
you talking about?
Yes.
That was nasty.
That was ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah. Paustin?
No, I'm good.
Oh, by the way, if you see me online playing Neverwinter, hit me up. I would like to play with a couple of our community members.
Yes, we do need to play Neverwinter more, because I criminally have underplayed it this past week.
It's fun. I like it.
I like the basics so far.
I like it.
And it seems like it'd be a lot more fun to play with other people cooperatively.
Yeah, we can even create a guild, but I need a group. I can't create one if there's not a group surrounding me, so...
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get on there. We'll figure all that out. We'll make a GTR guild and all that good stuff.
Definitely.
But,
okay.
Yeah, we'll talk more next week for sure.
All right. And make sure to download that Fast and Furious Forza game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Dude, as a person who does not own any racing games and hasn't for like 5 or 6 years, that game has been a godsend to me. It is so much
good.
fun.
Yeah. And it's free.
Love it. And it's free. It's so free.
Yeah, it's long. It's free.
Smart move on their part.
I like that. All right.
It's definitely going to sell me a copy of Horizon 2 very soon.
But I do have to say, that ludicrous voice, man.
Yeah, I got to say, I feel so bad.
Kinda
like,
weak.
I used to kind of be a Luda fan because I live, I'm an Atlanta guy. But, like, I didn't even recognize his voice. That's how bad his voice acting was. I thought it was someone trying to sound like him. And I was like, oh.
You know what's funny? We went to, I think we were flying to California. I can't remember where. I was with Pete, and Luda was in the same flight. Remember that, Pete?
Yes, that was actually Call of Duty.
I was flying somewhere.
Paris. I saw you there. That's when me, you, and Haley and what's his name from LA, Robert.
Oh yeah.
Pete was going to that event, and I was going to a different event. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like 2 blocks from Roscoe's. Go figure, right?
Okay. All right. I think it's enough.
We will be going to here in 2 months.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God, Roscoe's.
Let me tell you, E3 is going to be pretty crazy when we get there. We have a lot of plans coming. So, all right. We're out. I think we're wrap it up. All right, guys. Until next week, I'm not going to be here. Enjoy PC Radio. Take care.
PC Destiny Radio.
Yeah, turn it down.
Latest.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.